104.5, the team, your home for New York sports. Big game coming up for Union hockey when they take on Penn State this Saturday in Cincinnati. Kevin Brown joins the show right now from ESPN. Kevin, I know you just spoke to Coach Bennett from Union. Goz and I, we like to lovingly call him intense. Did you pick that up from him?
I can tell you, guys, and thank you for having me. It wasn't as intense as I had been made to believe. At least with us, pretty laid back. I suspect that on the ice, it'll be a little bit different. In the locker room, it'll be a little bit different. You know, we got the impression, and Union had a tough loss to Cornell in the ECAC semis last week. We got the impression from Rick and from the players that it had been a very attention-to-detail-centric week of practice, a little more intense than usual. But I think that's because of the leadership of the players and because of what Rick's instilled. He was pretty calm with us, though. No red face, so we'll take that as a compliment, I suppose.
Kevin, now I know you didn't get to speak to him, in 2014 for the run, but we just talked to him, and I kind of got the impression he's almost enjoying himself this go around. I know you can't compare it, but is that something you might have picked up on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the great thing to being a hockey coach, any college coach, but particularly in this game, when you have players that leave early for professional hockey, and guys that aren't here all 4 years always, to have a group of seniors like Rick has now, I think is a special thing, particularly with Vecchione and the season that he's had. But Jeff Taylor in the back and Alex Sakelaropoulos in goal. He seems like this has been a special group to him. We talked to Mike and Jeff and Alex as well. They intimated that too. And, the message we've been getting from talking to Union folks throughout the day is that, freshman year for these guys in 2014, 3 years ago for some of them, not necessarily freshman year, but that was such a magical run, and it's a run that you thought, well, we'll repeat that. We'll do that again. And the 2 years since have been a little bit tough for these guys. So they certainly seem to be appreciating every moment and soaking it up a little more, knowing that they've gotten to the top of the mountain and realizing that they've plummeted a little bit in these last 2 years. I think this is a dangerous team because they know how to win, and they have started to hit those details that might have kept them out the last two seasons.
Kevin Brown from ESPN with us right now on 104.5 The Team, ESPN. He's covering the Union hockey game on Saturday. He just spoke to Rick Bennett.
And they're going to be taking on the Penn State Nittany Lions at 4:30. Kevin, as you've prepared for this game, what stood out to you about this Penn State Nittany Lion team?
Boy, they are fast. It's a great story, first and foremost. Penn State, folks might hear Penn State and think, well, they've been good forever at everything. This is Penn State's fifth year of varsity hockey, and they're in the tournament. They won the Big Ten tournament last week. They beat Michigan, who has 9 national championships. They beat Minnesota, who has 5, and they beat Wisconsin, who has 6. And they took down 20 teams, or 20 national championships worth of teams, and they do so because they score so much. Union is the 4th leading team in the country in terms of goals per game. Penn State's 2nd. They get up and down the ice. They throw a ton of shots on goal, as many shots on goal as anybody in the country. And they just play with this freewheeling brand of hockey. It's going to make for an interesting game because Union is such a high-scoring team too, but maybe not with the same speed of Penn State. Union, I think, is a team with a little more detail defensively. That's not Penn State's game as much. But they have an excellent freshman goalie, a kid named Peyton Jones, who made 51 saves on 52 shots in the Big Ten championship. So Penn State just plays an awfully entertaining brand of hockey, and they will win games 5-3, 6-4. They will get up and down and outscore you. And I think we'll see Union try to, even though they can excel in space and they have such skill, I think we'll see Union try to slow down the game and try to get Penn State a little bit stuck in the mud. If they can do that, it becomes a really compelling matchup. If not, Penn State can skate all over anybody.
Kevin Brown, now you're on the call, so obviously we can't ask you for a direct prediction on this thing, but
you can.
I can.
I just won't give it to you, but you can ask.
Well, let's just talk styles. When you just said that Union's going to try and slow it down, Penn State's really fast. Do you feel like that fast style is going to give Penn State an advantage?
In theory, I do, and again, I won't make a pick, but I like this matchup for Union for a couple of reasons, and the main one, honestly, is that Penn State just won the Big Ten tournament. Yes, they're a fast and fun team, but Penn State's never been in this spot, and this is a brand new thing for these kids. They're a young team. Obviously, it's your fifth year of varsity hockey. They don't have a ton of seniors. They have, I believe, 11 freshmen on the roster, and they are some talented and skilled freshmen. But I think Union has a lot of skill, too. I think they have more skill than they probably give themselves credit for. And they play out that blue-collar mentality, and it's true. But this is an awfully skilled team. Spencer Fu and Mike Vecchione and some of these other skaters, Sebastian Vidmar among them. But it's a team with skill and more experience. I don't think Union will be overwhelmed by the moment. So this is one of those games where the first period could define it. If Penn State comes out and looks like they're in the bright lights a little bit, then who knows? Now, it is a Penn State team that, again, just won the Big Ten championship and beat three tremendous hockey programs, so maybe it's not a concern for them. But we know that Union's been here before. We know that Union likes to dictate the run of play, and we know that Union has done that in this spot against terrific teams. Teams that are in their first tournaments and their first championships, obviously it's kind of a hit-or-miss thing. So I like the advantage that Union has in that respect, and I think they are a skilled enough team to, assuming they're the calmer one, they're the more experienced one, the less frazzled, to impose their skill. So I'm not making a direct pick, but I do like this matchup for Union in terms of the experience factor.
We're looking forward to that matchup this week, and also right here in the Capital Region, we're looking forward to baseball season getting underway. Levack's nickname on the show is Pinstripe Pants because of his love for the New York Yankees, and he's renamed Bryce Harper future Yankee Bryce Harper. You've worked for the Syracuse Chiefs, the AAA affiliate of the Nationals. How would you describe Bryce Harper to Levack?
I mean, I would describe Levack as being possibly right. I don't have any inside information. Hang on, Bryce is actually texting me right now.
Ask him what hair care products
listening to the show. No, like I was around Bryce for about a month when he was with the Chiefs in 2012. Crazy to think it was 5 years ago, and he was playing in Syracuse in front of 38-degree, fairly sparse, ski-masked up crowd. Bryce is an intense guy and somebody that, and again, this was 5 years ago, but somebody that was pretty well respected by his teammates for how hard he played. I don't have any personal insight into whether or not Bryce is going to be a future Yankee, but I'll tell you this much, and I don't think this is going out on a limb. If the Nationals do not win a championship this year or next, I think it's pretty safe to say Bryce Harper will not be a Washington National in 2019. And if they win the next two, maybe he won't anyway. Obviously, he's going to seek an enormous contract, but you look at the moves that the Nationals have made. They've made a lot of win-now moves and not thrown money away willy-nilly, but signed some veterans. And I think they know how short these windows are. I think they understand that after 2012, when they shut down Steven Strasburg and they ended up losing in the first round, maybe that was a little bit of a reality check of, you never know if we're going to get back here again. And they've been lucky to get back to the playoffs 2 times since. But look, if Bryce is healthy this year, they're going to be in the mix again. But if Bryce is banged up, if something else goes wrong, then maybe you can start printing your Harper Yankee jerseys for 2019. I mean, go ahead and get a head start now. It's probably cheaper if you just get a custom jersey with Harper on the back than when
got like 3 of them already.
Signs with the team in 19.
Kevin, I got 3 different numbers just in case. I got 34, 77.
That's good. And maybe just get one with a letter.
Oh, yeah, I don't hate it.
Maybe they'll run out of numbers. The Yankees have retired all their numbers by then. 9.5.
Kevin Brown with us right now. He's on the call for ESPN Saturday when Union takes on Penn State. So, Kevin, there's you get credit or maybe blame on this show quite often because Goz refers to himself as Gozzy Bear. And he says that you're the one who came up with that.
Oh, boy. I can't believe you actually used the nickname.
Oh, not only is it being used, people have printed out T-shirts with my face on a bear. I blame you and Jason Benetti. Like, you guys took this to another level.
Well, why did I not know about the T-shirts? I should have been the first one to get a T-shirt.
Somebody took – you ever see the baby Halloween costume of Fozzie Bear? Somebody put Goz's face on one of those.
Oh, my gosh. Like a Muppet baby?
Yes.
That's a different kind of twisted, whoever had that idea. I mean,
just put it on your
That's going to haunt my dreams tonight. I might be thinking of it. That might pop into my head during the second period tomorrow. Oh, man.
On your broadcasting tombstone, it's going to say ESPN broadcaster calling the NCAA playoffs and founder of the nickname Gozy Bear. I think it's a good thing on a resume.
Yeah, no, I personally, I can't wait to just retire so I can get that tombstone made.
Kevin, we hope you have a great call, man. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Guys, thanks. Please send me a T-shirt.